meeting. So him and also Douglas and Adrian can see what are we doing, right? So let me start. Before anything, thank you guys for joining at 8 a.m. It's not a typical meeting. This is not going to happen very often. It's going to happen probably just once a month. And the reason we are doing this meeting is because it's important to know that it's important for everyone to be on the same page in regards to how we're moving forward, right? So we started this club with a specific strategy, and that's how we've been operating. Everything that you guys have been doing, everything that you guys have been creating, everything was planned beforehand. It was planned during the summer. We took a very good time deciding what to do, what's the best way to organize the club, and we came up with a specific strategy. I updated a strategy for you guys because now we're like in the third stage of the plan, I guess the third revisement of the plan. And by revisement, I mean like that we made it's not that we made mistakes, is that we are making the plan more refined, like more detailed. We start with a broad plan and then we narrow it down to specific things to know how to act for the future based on the challenges in the present, right? Yeah, so like I was saying, I have you guys right now at 8 a.m. for the purpose to give you guys a clear understanding what is your place in the team, right? And how it differs from everyone's role, and also how you can contribute to the team. Like what is your key part in the team, and how are you making the project moving forward, right? That's basically what I'm just trying to do. I'm not gonna try to give like very in depth in regards to specific details. I'm just trying to get you guys into the mindset, right? Because everything is about the mindset and understanding, how what to think and why are we doing things, and then everything just falls into place, right? So we're gonna go in this order. I'm gonna explain the purpose of the club. I'm gonna explain a bit of the project, then the project management structure, the roles of project management, the roles of team leads, and the roles of team members. All right. So let's get started. So the Shell Eco Marathon. A lot of you guys probably know a lot about the Shell Eco Marathon. But maybe there's people here who might have questions about the Shell Eco Marathon. But to just give you another like a quick recap of what are we doing, what are we actually doing is, yeah, so we are competing in the Shell Eco Marathon. The Shell Eco Marathon is an international competition that has been running since the 1980s, 1990s. And the Shell Eco Marathon organizes the competition in regions. We are in the American regions, meaning that we compete with, I think, America, in the North American region. We compete with, I think, Mexico and Canada and the whole United States. And the purpose is to give the students an opportunity to create a vehicle, right? And not just any vehicle, create the most efficient vehicle possible. And through this experience, be able to gain a lot of skills and a lot of knowledge about engineering and applications of engineering. The competition is happening in April 12th. It's going to be 4 days from the 12th to the 16th, and it's going to happen in the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So I suppose that we're going to race in the actual speedway, like in a section of it. And then there are different divisions. There's the battery electric division. There's the battery electric division, the hydrogen fuel cell division, the internal combustion engine division, And then there's car divisions. I messed up. Ignore what I have there. I didn't see that. There are car divisions. There's two divisions. There's the urban division, and then there's the prototype division. The urban division is a competition for people to create a car that resembles a car on the road. So they have to have mirrors. They have to have like 2 seats, I believe, or and they have to have space for luggage. I'm not entirely sure about the guidelines, but it's basically creating a car for the road. And then the prototype division, which is the one we're actually competing in, is creating a car like this one that is basically suited for efficiency and nothing else, pure efficiency. So, in terms of the feasibility of this project, of this competition, is definitely feasible, completely feasible. High school students are allowed to compete in this competition actually, and some of them have been able to place really well. And if high school students have the capacity to do such a complex project, we definitely have the capacity to do the same project and probably better. So we just need to make sure we are organized, right? Because probably in high school, they go to a class every other day and they meet with the teacher, and the teacher assigns them the tasks, and if they don't do them, they get a bad grade, probably, right? But in regards to us, everyone's doing this on their own time, volunteering their time in exchange of experience, a good experience in regards to career development, and also just enjoy your experience here in while you're at college, right? So the structure of commitment completely differs, and that's why we need to adapt for that structure to compensate for the different factors that prevent people from committing to such a complex task, to such a complex project, right? So yeah, before I move on into the other sections, I'm gonna what's it called, explain all the things. Do you guys have any other questions that you had about the Sherry Marathon? Okay, if you don't have any questions, in the case you have any questions, sorry, someone said something?
No questions.
No question. Okay. In the case you guys have any questions, you can ask me directly or ask your project manager. But if neither I, the project manager, knows the answer to that question, what you should do is hold on. What you should do is go to the Shelly Marathon website and go in the Contact Us tab, and then you can ask them a question. Hold on, let it go. Yeah, you can ask them a question here. I asked them a ton of questions, and they typically respond within hours sometimes, or like within a day. So any question that might seem a bit technical, complex, about maybe fuel efficiency, about angles, about anything, you guys should what's it called, ask them a question here. But you guys should all of you guys need to see the rule book, right? I'm pretty sure many of you have seen the rule book, but if you haven't, you can find the rule book in the competition registration folder, and then here, this is the 2023 rule book, and you have to read this. If you're not reading this, then you really don't know the challenges, right, that we're gonna face, right? We don't have complete freedom of design. There are specific parameters that we have to meet. So you don't have to read the whole thing, right? Just read the thing that is pertains to you. For example, electric propulsion, right? So you just go to battery electric and then just read this. It's just one page. Very simple. That way you are familiarized with what is going on. Not gonna lie, it looks like a long rulebook, but it's actually not a lot. Because a lot of things is about, not just the electric vehicle division, it's about the other division. So that's why it's a lot, because it's multiple energy divisions. But if you focus just on the power divisions, then it shouldn't be like a long read. And yeah, you guys might see this club as a huge, relatively big club compared to other teams, just because other teams might have only 10 members working on certain things, on other projects. We have like 30 members. Some of them more active than others. But this project, the same car was done in 2016. The eco engineering team in 2016 created an electric car with like, how many people, Adam? Was it like 5 people?
My bad. It was hard to unmute. Last year's car was only four people.
No, 2016.
Oh no, even less. I think the guy said it was only 3 people actively working on it. And then he brought in random people to like do things. Like he had a friend that would code a certain part and another friend. But it was very little, very little.
So if 6 people can make a car, there are 10 people, there are 7 people here. We can definitely do it. So if you guys, let me just go back really quick. The car that they did in 2016 was, if you go really far, it was this one. It was this car. We are going to make something better than this. We're definitely going to make something better than this. They did a lot of work, and we applaud them for the work that they did. But there's no reason for us not to make something better than this. We can definitely show what we're capable of, because everyone specializes in one single thing, right? Well, the team leads. I'm talking about the team leads, right? So there's definitely like the chance to grow in this club, right, and makes things better. So yeah, so why is this club up in the first place? Like, why is it running in this specific way? And the reason it's running this specific way is that we want to make as much impact to students as possible through their professional development, right? Like I said multiple times, I won't get tired of repeating. I want you guys, and the rest of the board want you guys to be better people than the first time you came to this club, right? That you're able to show that you have like experience under in your bag, like you can tell them, oh, I made this steering system for this car, I made this CAD model for a show, for a car. That says a lot of things, compared to many people who just go to school, commute, and study. And that's completely fine. Not everyone has the opportunity to develop, to dedicate to a project like this one. So I appreciate you guys a lot for taking the time. And this time, it's not any other time like playing video games. This is actually very important. Something that can make you guys and everyone in the club, make a huge impact in your life. Not directly, of course, and definitely indirectly, by learning how to work with the rest of people, learning how to organize things, learning how to make something happen. So and how is that going to happen? So everything started with the initial events in August, and to get members. But even if we have members, we need to support them somehow, right? So we need a sponsorship, right? So sponsorships are a key. Sponsorship are key to getting us money, and with the money we can create events and cars, right? And the car. So as you guys see, even though it might seem like marketing and business are not like important, but they're actually really important. You know, they're important basically to help us develop ourselves and also give us the opportunity to create things, right? Because you know parts are very expensive, and also if you just work and work and work, you know, and there's enough, you know, it can be stressful. So we're also trying to do all the other types of events that will allow you to enjoy your time here in the club, and all leads to the student development, right? And now, how are we organized to make this this car happen, right? So it might seem like a lot, and it is, but if you spend a bit of time, you see it's pretty simple. We organize the car in 4 sections: ergonomics, shell, steering, and controller. If you what you call look to the left, right? In order to get those things done, we have 3 project managers. Why 3 project managers? Because Adam, Douglas, and Adrian were the only people working in the club at that time. If we had 4 project managers, it would have been completely different. You know, so this setup is because it was made based on how we started, right? So each project manager is in charge of 2 teams, right? The Ergo team is divided in 2 teams. The show is 1 team, the steering is 1 team, and the motor controller wasn't if first intended to be a 3rd team, just in case. But then we just decided to leave it to 2 teams, and now we're thinking of merging both teams, right? Yeah, so each team also have team leads. If you look into the right, so this box is just the same box. It's like Ergo Team A is basically the same thing, just like an expanded view. You can think of it that way. And we were thinking of first doing 2 team leads per team. But of course, that was not a possibility. So we have 1 team lead per team, and each team lead is supposed to lead a group of students, right? So yeah, so that's how we were that's how we ended up organizing the club. But as you can see here, there's a green box around the project managers, this and that, and the team leads. And the reason is because this square is where the critical team is. You know, these are the people who can definitely make this car happen. You guys are the people what's it called that is gonna help each one of these projects happen. That's why we're putting a lot of importance on you guys, because you guys are really, really important. And the rest of the teams, the rest of the people, they are not as important as you guys, just because they don't have the commitment like you guys do. And you know, a team typically is like a group of people who share the same responsibilities, right? Most of the times. But in this scenario, we really can't do that because we have team members who unfortunately are not committed due to external many factors, right? And so we really can rely on them. So, but that doesn't mean they're not valuable. It just means they're not as committed as you guys. The role of the students is basically just to advance our the progress faster, right? But yeah, so we organize this structure in this way for 2 reasons. Well, for multiple reasons. The first is team safety redundancy. By redundancy, I mean like we don't have to like like I said in the beginning, we don't have to have 30 people working in the car. We can just have 10 people, you guys. But there's the thing. If you do that, then it will be, if someone is missing, if like one of the 10 members is missing, then progress can be completely halted. Right. So the more members we have, the more redundancy we can have, and it creates, it allows for the progress to continue happening, right? So in this case, if we had two team leads per team, if one team lead cannot go to the meetings, then the other team lead can lead the meeting. But because we don't have two team leads, we have one team lead and one project manager. That means if one team lead cannot make it, then the project manager is going to step in, or if the project manager cannot make it, then the team lead is going to step in. And that way, there's things moving forward, constantly. And, because like I said, you guys are here because of your own time, and things happen, we have the SHEP convention happening right now, and it has keeping us many of us very busy. So it's good to have someone to step in when you're not able to, contribute and participate. In the case that something happens to the teams, like say the students don't come to the teams, then like how the drivetrain team were thinking, we can merge the teams, right? And combine the teams and continue the work going in one team. And that way, the everyone is like has a group to work with, right? So that's also a possibility that happened to the drivetrain team. That's happening to the drivetrain team right now. But it potentially might happen to any of you guys down the road as things progress, right? So it's important that you guys invite your friends. I guess friends is the best way to get anyone in the club, because it's people that it's people that you trust, it's people that you understand how their time, their their ability, their skills, and you can definitely help them by giving them the opportunity to develop themselves with the creation of this car. So so really quick, so if you guys want to invite someone to the team, please let me know. Let me know. But so if you let me know, I'll give you the team membership form. I need everyone in the team to have the team membership form. The reason is, the more members we have on record, the more we can show on to sponsors. If we have 50 members instead of instead of if we have 50 members instead of like 20 members, that completely says something different about the club. So I need everyone to do the what's it called, if you're going to invite any members, either let me know, or like I can put the team membership form like later. I guess it won't be a good time to do that right now. So yeah. And the next thing is, let me see what's next. In the case that students, for some reason, all the students leave, then the team would just be the team leads, right? You guys are gonna be like the ones making the progress happen. And so that's the reason of how we created structure, to create redundancy and make sure the progress is not slowed down. And the same thing for business and chair, it's a bit for the business chair and the marketing chair, it's a bit different. It has completely changed to a completely different setup. But there's this I didn't update this. So there's 2 branches, not 3. There's business, and there's another branch called marketing outreach. I am the marketing outreach chair, and then Sebastian is the business chair. And we try to delegate as many tasks as possible to everyone. So I couldn't when I did this, I couldn't put all the things in one page, like all the structures in one page. So I created this diagram, like to explain something basically important, which is everything comes to a circle, right? So the money and events, you know, help us get a car, and then the car leads to development, you know. So yeah, everything just comes to a full circle, which is nice. Then the engineering timeline, right? So what I'm going to show you right now is that everything has not been updated. It's basically how we intended at first to work, except for the general timeline. So like many of you guys know, there's two stages. There's stage A, design, and stage B, build and revise. So we're just designing as much as possible, and then we're going to build the car. And this is stage B. So the cutoff day is January 15, just because it's a very nice date to divide the both stages equally. And that means that we have to have everything done by January 15 and start working on the project after that. And for you guys to, or for anyone to participate in stage B, you guys have to get certifications, safety certifications, right? Not because it's not because of me, but because of people at FIU. They've been very like adamant about engineering students using the makerspace to build things, and you know, and they're concerned about the safety of the things they're building. So they're making every single student who wants to participate, who wants to build things in the makerspace, to have safety certification. And the makerspace is basically the space where we're going to build a car. That's where we keep our stuff. So yeah, everyone needs to have the certifications done by January 15th. I'm gonna set reminders nearing the date. It's very easy. They're kind of a waste of time, in my opinion. This shouldn't be a problem. Any of you guys doing those certifications. And then the stage B ends in March 31st. By the end of March, we should have everything done. Because April is the competition, right? And we're gonna send a car by the end of March. And like I said, there are some months. Also, I divided the timeline in 17 weeks, and not because there's specific 17 weeks, but because some weeks are not available. Like, for example, the SHAPE convention week is one of the I like in the beginning of the summer, I was like, yeah, it's gonna be very tough to get things done. It's really, yeah, it's tough to get things done right now, but we're still getting things done, which is good. But yeah, so initially November was 3 weeks instead of 4. So every timeline has was designed with buffer zones. So we can, like, you know, we're stick to like a very strict timeline. But in case we miss it, there's nothing critical is gonna happen because we have buffer zones. So that's the good thing about the design of this of how we're moving forward with the project. Do you guys have any questions so far about anything that I've taught, or anything about the stages, these 2 stages? Because I'm gonna move on into more complex stuff. More stuff. You guys are good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm good.
All right, sounds good. It's good to hear that you guys are with me. Yeah. So, and then each team has a timeline, right? Each team has a timeline, and we're gonna see every timeline, starting with the motor controller. And this is how we organize a motor controller. There's going to be 6 stages: the learning stage, ideation stage, and design stage. And then there's build stage, revise stage, and then other. Other is basically a buffer zone. So the learning stage is to have everyone learn the skills necessary to do things. Ideation stage is just to think about the potential designs that we need to do, and the design is actually executing those designs that we initially like were thinking of. Build stage is build stage, and then revise. Revise is, you know, just 2 weeks to fix the things that we need to fix in order to compete. And then other, any other items that we need to get done that we haven't gotten done by then. So this is not this specific timeline is not a strict timeline. Like, for example, the perspective of this timeline, we are late in the the ideation stage is a bit we passed the ideation stage. That's what I mean, the ideation stage. But it doesn't mean that it's like something. It doesn't mean that things are going bad. It's just we didn't like foresee some things. You know, the software team is taking a while to teach members, right? So that's fine. There's just some things that we didn't foresee. We just need to make sure to try to keep to this timeline as much as possible. And this timeline is on the Google Calendar. For example, if I pull up the ergonomics timeline, you see the what's it called, what each what your team is doing, right? So yeah, and then steering has the same timeline. Steering has the same timeline. But before I move into steering, I would like to show you guys this document that we made that is gonna explain the November course of action. So the reason we did a November course of action to explain the task by week is because let me go here. Look at this. Look at this timeline again. November is basically one of the most important months for us. Even though we have the end of like the middle of January to complete the designs, this winter break is gonna slow us down a lot because we're gonna lose momentum since people are gonna be like leaving for vacation, and we don't know what's going to happen. So if we wait until November to wait until winter break to get all the things done, we're definitely going to have problems. In order to prevent that, we have to get all the critical designs done by November, right? By the end of this November. So like you guys see, there's no December because December is basically finals week. No one basically is available during those times. So our only chance to work on this is November. So for that reason, we created a course of action for November to make sure we get things done during this month. So I'm gonna have Adam speak about the task. How we're gonna go forward with the task.
Yeah. So before this meeting, I talked to my team leads to see what they wanted to do, as well as what I wanted to do, of course. So for team A, the thing as well is that we're thinking about putting both teams together, just like Owen said. So I don't know if we're gonna make every single person in the drivetrain do it, but so for the first week of the drivetrain, we're gonna be finding components for the motor controller based on the parameters that we need, and we already started that. Josh was already started. He's done a little research paper. The next week we'll be finding components for the board protection, then PCB design software. This I left it as a week, but it might take a little bit more in a week. But we can still be learning as we're designing the PCB software. So those 2 weeks and also the third week, all in total, all those 3 can be done in like simultation. Like doing them together. And the goals by the end of November is definitely finishing the design of the motor controller. Like we need to finish the motor controller, the design of all the hardware, every part, and maybe I should have added as well, making sure that the simulations are exactly what we need for our motor and for our code. So I forgot to put that there, but that's another very important thing. And now let's go to Team B. Sahar is taking a lot of lead in Team B because he's a lot more adept in coding. And these are kind of his patterns, what he wants to be getting done. So this week and the past 2 weeks, they have been learning Arduino. And for this week, they're going to be learning about how to change the frequency of PWM, set it to a certain amount, learning how duty cycle works with the potentiometer. All of this, we did a little workshop about it as well. Sahar, Oling, and a bunch of the Team B guys came and we did it on our Arduino board. For next week, they're going to be learning about PID controller. This is how we're going to control the pulse width modulation, control the motor, how it moves. Next, find parameters for code. The important part of this too is finding parameters for code is gonna be simultaneous with hardware, right? Like, so if the coding knows that they need to code, I don't know, 50 volts into a certain pin into the motor controller, we need to find that type of hardware for the motor controller. And then lastly, I say 2 weeks, but I'm hoping we can finish a little bit earlier, which is just coding the program. I'm hoping it only takes 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. If it takes more, it's okay. I just want to finish at the same time as we finish the hardware design. And the goals for the end of November is just finishing the code. So the goals are very straightforward. Let's just finish the design phase and make sure we stay up to date with the calendar. I want to stick to the calendar and make sure we finish on time. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Adam, for sharing. So now I'm gonna go with the steering timeline. So this is Douglas. Douglas couldn't make it, so he sent me a text about what he wanted to let you guys know. But basically, for week 2, he wants to adjust the steering design for the CAT chassis. Watch videos on week 5 research to design well the steering system and find other dimensions necessary for the steering system in week 2. Doing all the designs in Fusion. Yeah, so week 3 is week 3 is basically more refinement on those things, figure out more angles, figure out the more parts necessary to construct the steering system. And week 5 and 4 is basically refinements. Week 5 is ordering materials, like a list of materials that we need for the steering system, and then for the shell. So every time we're talking about a specific team, we're referring to a team lead specifically. So for the shell, Douglas was saying that simulations are harder than he anticipated, but he's still going to have you guys learn simulations, like learn the team members simulation. So this week he wants to finish all the designs, and then next week work on the simulations, and then just simulate and redesign for the following weeks. Then for the last weeks will be learning how to 3D print and 3D printing the designs, and just, I guess, experiment with the designs. Right? So that's that. Then for ergonomics, so for you guys, it will be create a definitive first draft of CAD design for each part. So yeah, like multiple parts require CAD designs, like the steering wheel and things like that. Use the chassis measurements to redesign the things that you might have. Then do simulations and test your designs for feasibility and manufacturing, and then redesign things and make final adjustments. and then order the parts. So ergonomics is gonna be very important right now, because we're gonna need your like the parts, some of the parts done by like week 4, so we can order them and use our RSO funds. Because if we don't use our RSO funds, we lose them. They don't go to our next semester, so we have to use those funds first. And ergonomics is a good team to use those funds for. And then last week it will be manufacturing the plans based on CAD designs, solidify manufacturing plans, right? So the goals by the end of November is to finish and test the brake system, the steering wheel, the seat, all pedal, safety system. By the end of November, learn about the manufacturing and build process, map in the build phase, order key components that do not require CAD design. So we're gonna use this for the RSO funds, and then finalize a critical CAD designs like driving, steering wheel, pedals. So that's so basically that's what we're going to do this month. And yeah, if we don't get this right, we're gonna have problems down the road. So we need to make sure we get this done, right? So yeah, so that was motor controller. And then I guess just going back to the general timeline for each thing. The shell has a similar general timeline. There's learning stages. There's a simulation stage at the end. You guys are ahead, so that's good. But then during this stage, you guys are gonna learn about the manufacturing and manufacture the shell. For Ergo, there's multiple design stages. Right now, you guys are in another design stage. You are in this design stage, and then this is for like simple parts, I believe, and then this is for critical parts. So, and then you're gonna build assemble everything the following semester. But yeah, so that was that's when we're gonna do the stuff. So I show you how are we gonna do those things, how are we gonna complete the projects, and then I show you when are we gonna complete the projects, right? So it's clear for you guys during meetings, right? So there's gonna be club meetings like the one we had like last week, I think. And those meetings are going to be to everyone in the team to know what's going on, like know what's the progress of each branch, and be updated, and also opportunity for new members to come and learn about the club. So it's important, like during this entire process, before leading to the club meeting, to take pictures of the work so we can show them in the general body meeting. And it's going to be really important for you guys to record the work. Yeah, and then for team meetings. So for the stage design, for the design stage, like you guys are completely aware, it's completely virtual. But for the build stage, it's gonna be physical, right? And for you guys to participate in the build stage, you definitely need those certifications. If you don't have the certifications, you're not gonna be able to participate, or your participation will definitely be minimal. Not because we don't want to, just FIU. And then the team meetings are scheduled by project managers. So Adam, Adrian, and Douglas. Each meeting, you guys should make progress towards the task. Also, each meeting should be a learning opportunity for your students. They should, and then it's a plus if they contribute to the design. But the most important point, I need you guys to listen if you zone out a bit. The most important point is, before every meeting, to plan ahead. What are you guys going to do during each team meeting, right? So before each team meeting, you guys can hold I want you guys to hold a very quick meeting, 15-20 minutes, just to plan out what's going to happen for the team meeting. In that way, you get more opportunity and more influence over the design of the project, and it's not just the project manager making all the designs, right? So yeah, so the meeting with your team, the meeting with your project manager doesn't have to be right before the meeting. It could be like before, like during the week, but before the meeting. So just for 15-20 minutes to just talk what you guys are going to do, what you guys are going to plan, and then just execute the plans by during the meeting. So now I'm going to explain now the role of, like, your role, basically the role of the project managers and the role of the team managers or the team lead. Yeah, sorry if I'm tripping over my words. I'm very tired. But I'm trying to do my best to explain everything. So yeah, we're gonna go from top to bottom, starting with the project managers. The role of the project manager is to set the direction of where the project is heading. So I created like this little drawing here. So imagine this is like a little pond, and this circle is like a rock that you're standing on. The project manager is basically telling you to go this way, to go to the star, right? And this coordinate system is north, east, south, and west. So he's telling you to go northeast. That's basically the essential role of the project manager, to guide the progress of to lead the direction of the project, whether it be like the what design is going to be, what parts we're going to use, or like what type of parts we're going to use. That's basically the project manager's role. So one of the responsibilities is to understand the challenges of moving to certain direction, like instead of moving to this direction, like northeast, like what will be the challenges to going north, understand what are the pros and cons, understand the windows of opportunity to complete the project. So like understand really well the timelines, right? Understand, by when do we need to get things done before we have problems. They also need to understand the resources available to make this project happen. What things do we have on hand to make this, and what things we need to search. And their role is basically to mobilize the team leads. Then for the team leads, you guys, your role is to construct the path to lead the projects. So going back to the analogy that you're in a pond, you're starting the pond with, you're standing on top of a little rock. Your role is to basically throw rocks in front of you and create like a little path towards the direction that we're going, right? So basically you're constructing a path to lead a project. So for that to happen, you need to understand the composition of the project, like understand like the parameters, the constraints. So you definitely need to read the manual, the rules and the rules and resources, whatever. And then be able to gather the resources and use them, right? So if you didn't know the makerspace, now you know the makerspace. You need to make sure to use the makerspace properly to get the designs done, and then your role, I guess the most important role for you guys is to plan out the course of action. So like plan out what's the path to the project for specific challenges, like basically tasks. So what tasks do we need to do to get to the end of the project, right? And then the last responsibility is to mobilize your team members. Okay, so basically you guys control the pathway and the project managers controls the direction, right? And now team members, right? Going back to the analogy of the pond, they are basically the people stepping on each pawn and going to the end. So you see the green arrows, there's basically hops, hopping on top of each rock to reach the end. So their role is basically to execute and learn. They are supposed to execute all the solutions to the challenges, and during the process, learn and gain experience. So they control the journey and the experience of reaching the end of the project. And for that to happen, you guys need to learn how to work with your team members, right? Like many of you guys know, the team members are very shy. They don't want to, sometimes be engaged with you guys, and it's very annoying. But that's just things that we need to learn how to work with, right? One advice that I can give you is that you can ask them questions, ask them their opinion about things, ask them about what things how can things go better. Ask them if they like certain things, and try to make a connection with them. Try text them if they couldn't if they think they're not making it to the meetings anymore. You reach out to them and you just check on them if what happened, like why you drop out of the team, and what advice can you give us so we don't lose more members. So your role is to keep the team members and mobilize them to execute and learn. Right? We operate differently than many clubs in the engineering campus. Many clubs in the engineering campus take the project as like a senior design project. So that means like there's limited opportunity for any student to have an influence over the design. Or we going in a complete different direction. We're allowing anyone to have an influence over the design as long as they have a good argument. So, and because of that reason, we have like 30 members, contributing to our project. So yeah, so the team members control the journey and experience of reaching the end of the project. Okay. So we're reaching almost the end. All right. Don't worry, guys. Thank you guys for staying with me this long. But I want you guys to ask this question. Well, yeah, I want you guys to ask this question, and I want two people to answer this. No, Adam, no, yeah, I already probably knows this. But what do you see? Can you describe this image right here? Can two people describe this slide right here? I really would like to get a quick description.
So each type of project manager or team lead or team members, they have their own window of responsibilities that don't intersect with other people's responsibilities.
Okay, that is really good description. Can anyone give me another description? Or what's your opinion on this?
When I first saw it, like I thought of I don't know what it's called, but those like when you combine like the three circles and they intertwine, like they have shared like interests or shared like something common. So in this image, it shows that instead of them all having a responsibility in common, that they each have their own responsibility to take care of and be in charge of.
Yeah. Okay. Basically, you guys are on the right description, and I really hope you guys feel uncomfortable about this slide, because if we do this, if we follow this strategy, we're not gonna make it. We're definitely not gonna make it if everyone has individualizes on the responsibilities. Everything that we're working on, if we start like becoming just responsible of our own responsibilities, projects are gonna fall apart. We're gonna lose progress. We're gonna lose team members. So to fix this, we're going to work like this. Everyone shares the same responsibilities to get the car done, right? The project manager has the same responsibilities as the team members, which is executing. The team lead has the same responsibility as the team member, which is executing. And the project manager, well, no, the team lead has also the same responsibilities as the project manager in making sure the direction of the project is going well, right? So if going back to this little diagram right here, so if you, for example, let's say you put a stone where it's not supposed to be, then the role of the project manager is to redirect that stone to where it needs to be. And by stone, I mean a task. So if a task is not adequate to get us to get things done, then the project manager has to fix it if the team lead doesn't notice this, right? And basically, like, what's happening right now is a lot of members are not like moving forward, you know. So it's your responsibility to move forward with the task. So we are that's why I'm saying redundancy so much. If someone fails or something, then someone else can step in, right? That allows this club to be flexible. And by allowing this club to be flexible, you know, we can definitely reach the end, right? As you see, it's not a straight path to where we want to be. We're definitely going to reach the end if we communicate with each other and we work with each other, right? So that's why it's important that you guys talk with your team, with your project managers before the meeting, so you can plan this out, plan your movement. You know, I like to think of this like war. You know, the project managers are like generals, you know, and then you guys, you know, are like sub generals, and then you have soldiers. So yeah, the only way is that we work together. You know, there's no other way. We help each other get things done, and that's it, right? So for the last slide, well, second to last, to solidify what we said, like I said, I want you guys to hold a 15-20 meeting with your project manager before the team meetings to understand the challenges and plan ahead, right? You can also, I would like you guys to take turns leading the meeting. That doesn't mean like the project manager doesn't go to the meeting and just the team lead leads the meeting. I mean, like, both project manager and team lead are in the meeting, but the team lead leads the meeting, right? So in that way, you have the opportunity to organize things and lead the team. It's not just the project manager. So you guys should take turns doing that, reversing the roles, you know, during the team meetings. And then during the meetings, you guys should create discussions with your team members and get them involved. So like I said, ask them questions, ask their opinions, ask their concerns about whatever you're doing. And about tackling the challenges, like tackling the task, you have to understand that tasks can be run in parallel and in series. So like, you guys know what parallel and series mean. So one task can go after the other, or tasks can go at the same time. So you need to identify which tasks need to go at the same time and which can go one after the other. One is after the other. Series challenges can be broken down into multiple tasks if it's big enough. You know, you can think of this whole branch, like the steering branch, as a whole series challenge that is distributed, that is decomposed in parallel challenges, parallel tasks, where team members are constantly like working on multiple things at the same time. Right. So Yeah, so that's just one advice that I can give you on just how to think about the progress and think how you can plan ahead. Right, this is just one thing, understanding the difference between parallel challenges, parallel tasks, and tasks that are run in series, right? But definitely there's more factors to organizing things. But with that being said, we've reached the end of this meeting. And I would like to, like I said in the beginning, you guys are very important to this club. And I will appreciate if you guys have any opinion, whether it's positive, negative, or, if it's negative, I really appreciate it. So like we can make this club better. Yeah, you guys have anything?
Very good. Thank you, Olden.
Appreciate you guys. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, any other things, you can definitely reach me out at any time. I am available, not 24/7, I guess 20 hours a day. But
We're
yeah,
gonna work on making it 8 hours a day.
definitely.
But
Uh,
I wanted to ask one thing. What time are you going tomorrow to over there?
I am arriving at 10 a.m.
Oh, bro. See you there, bro. I'm gonna arriving kind of the same time too.
Okay. All right.
I-
Thank you guys
I-
for wait, just let me so we don't hold anyone off. So thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate you guys for staying for an hour listening to me. And like you said, like I said, you guys are really important. And I just want you guys to know what's ahead for this project. So yeah, thank you guys for coming. You are free to go.
Thank you very much, Olden. Have a nice
No
day.
problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oling, what airlines did you go with?
Let me stop the thing.
Because I get there at 10 as well. That's why I'm asking.
Did I stop? Oh, I'm still recording. What's it called? Let me stop it.